On our way to Las Vegas, we're gonna pass by the Rhyolite ghost town. Then, after briefly getting dazzled by the shiny neon lights, we're going to visit Mount Charleston with my high school friend Rafa. And then, we're going to visit Lake Mead, Hoover Dam, the Valley of Fire, on our way to yet another amazing state, Utah and Zion National Park. I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV. Greetings from Nevada. Soon after we entered Nevada, coming from Death Valley, we encountered the Rhyolite historic gold mining town site. The town, named after an igneous rock, was a booming town during the early 1900s. It was founded in 1905 as a mining camp, and within barely 2 to 3 years, it already had a population close to 5,000, electric light, running water, telephones, newspapers, a hospital, a school, an opera house, and even a stock exchange. But it busted almost as quickly as it boomed when the mine closed. And by 1920, it was already a ghost town. And today, all that is left is this handful of ruins here. How about lunch?
Well, sauteing some fish here in the RV. You know, it would be really cool to have one of those Rangers they have in boats that they swing around, you know, because we are totally off level here. But hey, at least we have a great view here. Oh, and there's snow on the ground.
This here used to be the Cook Bank building from 1908. It had a post office in the basement, and the bank and offices.
It's in the 30s. And check it out. There is snow here on the ground. I think it's melting, but well, after I eat, I'm gonna check out the town real quick, and then we continue towards Las Vegas.
By the way, very beautiful area. Let's check this one out, the Porter Brothers store. They actually had 3 other stores in California, and they brought all the merchandise across Death Valley. And that's what remains of the second school building. Hard to imagine this used to be a bustling town back in 1908, and how quickly it dwindled down into nothing. There's the bottle house. We're going to see it later. There's once again the schoolhouse, which actually never got much use because of the downturn. Most of the children left before it was finished. The Overbury building and the Porter Brothers store once again. And a very photogenic travel trailer almost in front of the Cook Bank building. There's the train station, called Las Vegas and Tonopah Depot.
Let's see what this building is here towards the end. And then we continue towards Las Vegas. Sure what this was, can't really read.
Yeah, my eyesight is not what it used to be. But even if it was, it is kind of hard to read.
Oh, casino! This used to be the casino. Pretty cool. And that's probably a Union Pacific caboose there. Oh yeah, pavement ends right there, so we're gonna go back. Nieve in Nevada.
Yeah, I don't get to see snow much.
Too bad they have it all fenced up. Would have been nice to explore.
Let's go, but first, let's stop by the bottle house.
Well, here we have some info about the town of Rhyolite.
Okay, let's get some info. I really wish we could get closer. The bottle house was erected in 1906, only to be raffled off. Not the smoothest of roads, huh? Let's stop here by the Goldwell Open Air Museum. This one here is a tribute to Shorty Harris, who was a legendary prospector. Originally created for the Las Vegas Discovery Children Museum and then restored and brought here, most appropriately named Sit Here. Here's another work of art, and I actually have no idea what this one is all about. By the way, the museum was founded in 1984 by Belgian sculptor Albert Sukalski. Albert Sukalski became famous for works like this one, in which he would wrap live models in fabric soaked in wet plaster, and then remove the model, of course, when the plaster was set. His main work of art? This one, called The Last Supper, dating back to 1984, the same year he began the museum. He died in the year 2000, but his legacy lives on here. That one, which looks like something out of Minecraft, is Lady Desert, the Venus of Nevada, a 1992 work by Hugo Heyermann. Here's another Albert Sukalski work called Ghost Rider. It says open, so let's go in. It's always good when they have free information, right? But inside, it is pretty much a gift shop. This last one is Icora, representing a female counterpoint to the Greek myth of Icarus. Let's continue on our journey towards Las Vegas. Tonight I am invited to dinner with an old high school friend whom I haven't seen since 1987, and tomorrow we might explore Mount Charleston together. Sounds like fun, right? We are going into this town called Beatty, and from here we're going to turn onto US 95. There, those are the Amargosa sand dunes. Coming up in the distance, the Spring Mountains, where Mount Charleston is located. Area 51 Center, we gotta check that out. Okay, I'm going to park here in the truck parking area and see what this is all about. I can use a break, anyways. Although we've only been driving for about half an hour or so. Apparently, they do have a brothel. The Alien Cat House, no less. Yeah, I betcha it's as cheesy as it looks. Oh, brother.
There's the Alien Center, Area 51. There's really nothing more than this is just a gas station shop. I was thinking maybe they had souvenirs or some quirky stuff, but not really. There's a diner too, and a bar, I think. Let's go to Las Vegas.
Well, nothing to see here, really. Let's just make a non-stop run to our destination. We still have about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, depending on traffic. And I can't wait to see the Las Vegas skyline, the strip on the horizon. After so many days in the desert, a little bit of city life is actually welcome. Besides reconnecting with old friends, I have to do an oil change on the Colorado. Not me, the Chevy dealership. And the Colorado also in desperate need of a car wash. Beautiful drive, isn't it? Is that a Predator drone? It's gotta be. We're passing right next to the Creech Air Force Base, where they fly them from. There it is, the Strip. Our home for the next couple of days, Sam's Town Hotel and Gambling Hall. Well, not really, but they do have a KOA right next door.
Apparently the KOA is part of this Sam's Town Hotel and Gambling Hall. Yes.
Fairly standard RV park, but we're here mainly for the location. And it is a great location.
Well, good morning, everybody. Today we are going to Mount Charleston, and I'm joined by Rafa. We went to school together many years ago when we were younger and more restless. And his friend Lázaro back here. So it's about a 45-minute drive to Mount Charleston. So we're gonna check it out. It's full of snow, so it should be interesting.
We're gonna stop for a few minutes, take a break, fly the drone. Oh, it's going to be a winter wonderland. It is so beautiful out here. Let's stop here by the Visitor's Gateway.
Well, go figure. Today of all days, I forgot to bring my hiking shoes. Or my gloves. Or my beanie. Anyways, we're here on the mountain and we're gonna continue exploring. This is the visitor center, by the way, and we're gonna go inside now and see what they have. Beautiful day here in Nevada. No, not a cloud in the sky. A little bit chilly, snow on the ground, and this is probably ice. Yeah, solid rock. I don't know anything about snow, as you guys probably know.
Apparently, in 1955, this plane coming from Area 51 crashed nearby.
Here it is, the bent propeller.
Here's a memorial to the silent heroes of the Cold War. Very nice, warm visitor center with all kinds of information about the area, the fauna, the flora, Also very nice to defrost in here a little bit, because outside it is full of snow, and this tropical man is not used to it, nor did I come prepared. Here's the Mount Charleston Resort. We're gonna stop here real quick. It is all very pretty, but virtually deserted today. Animal tracks, I wonder. Ice, ice, baby. It is an ice stalactite, and it's melting. Are you cold there, buddy? You look cold. Let's go back. Check out the actual resort, the building. The pond, frozen solid. I wonder if I could walk on it. Let's defrost a little bit here in the lobby. Here's the restaurant and a nice bar, but there is not a whole lot going on today.
Should I or should I not? Maybe not. No swimming or fishing. Well, ice fishing perhaps today.
According to what I've heard, there are fish alive beneath the ice. We continue going up the frozen mountain, gaining elevation into the thin air, the temperature dropping quickly. Perfect occasion to fly the drone. There are several campgrounds up here, but they are all closed for the season. Except for one, I think. But with this amount of snow, I believe even that one is closed at the moment. Scenic Overlook. Let's stop real quick. Although the parking lot hasn't been plowed yet, so we're just gonna have to pull over here on the side of the road.
This is the Desert View Overlook.
Oh yeah, I can already tell the view is going to be spectacular. What a great view of the Mojave Desert from here.
We've had some wildlife tracks here, and there appear to be some human tracks as well. Overlooking the nuclear test site here.
Yes, atomic tests. I think we might be going off trail here, but I'm just following these guys. They've been here before and they seem to know what they're doing.
It's pretty deep.
We're standing before the site where they had the atomic testings back in the 50s and 60s. This was what it was called the Nevada testing site. And they have here all kinds of literature explaining what happened here. I'm sinking in the snow.
Yeah, this is pretty deep. Check it out.
Of course, you guys in Ohio are going to be laughing at me, but I don't care.
We're going to continue a little further to the Lee Canyon Ski Resort. Here's the McWilliams campground, closed for the season, except for the campground host, I guess. Yep, definitely not in Florida anymore. Well, this is certainly very nice and unexpected. I certainly didn't know there was a ski resort so close to Las Vegas. By the way, skiing is one of those sports I wish I had learned at a younger age. Of course, I grew up at a place where it doesn't snow, so that complicates things. But it looks like so much fun. Well, I guess this would be technically snowboarding, but still, that's skiing. Very nice, I like it. Maybe I'll come back one of these days. Take some lessons, perhaps.
They have a grill and bar here.
All the trees have these ice stalactites, very cool. We're gonna start heading back to the parking lot.
Well, this one is not too bad, so we're gonna do it.
This is the Bristle Cone Trail, which is apparently very popular in the summer. And the little dog looks like it's cold. Today we're just going to walk for a few yards here, but who knows when I come back in the summer. Apparently, when it is 100 degrees down in Vegas, it is very pleasant up here. Who knew?
It's definitely a winter wonderland up here, and such a beautiful day. Oh, there's a nice view over there. I'm gonna show you right now. But you know, at least this trail is a little more hard packed, so we're not sinking into the ground. Because according to my friend Rafa, this metal bar here, it goes almost all the way up to your chest. So imagine if there was no snow. Well, if I sink to the ground, I'm gonna be sinking pretty deep. So no, I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, definitely a beautiful day. No wind, so the cold weather doesn't feel as cold as some other times. I see, oh, I'm sinking even here in the trail. Well, it's time to head back down. We only did like 1/10 of a mile, so don't be impressed. I believe this is the first time since the Grand Canyon like 7 years ago that I've done a video in the snow. Like really in the snow.
We keep going up and up and up towards Mount Charleston. It is 19 degrees Fahrenheit here near the top.
Starting to feel the chill in the air here. 19 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what, -10? No, not even. Here's a sorry attempt at a snowman, I guess. It looks more like the creature from Alien. Or, I don't know what it looks like. Anyway, this is Mount Charleston Logs and Cabins here. It's a lodge and cabins.
I'm sure that's a nice terrace to hang out in the summer. And these are like little greenhouses, perhaps? And what a beautiful place this is.
Well, now we're up here in the lodge, and it is starting to feel like the 19 degrees Fahrenheit that it is, which is -7 Celsius, which is okay. Laugh all you want, but for me that's really cold. Okay, well, I think we're gonna go down to a more temperate climate down in Las Vegas.
By the way, this is the Mount Charleston town. Very nice houses up here on the mountain. Must be nice. It is getting late, so we're definitely starting to feel the cold. And we're famished, so we are quickly going to go down to lower elevation. Okay, one last stop. More of a potty break, really.
Well, the sun's coming down here in the mountain.
Well, this was certainly a welcome change of scenery, especially for me. You know, I don't get to see snow much. Before we continue, I want to thank Rafa and his friend Lazaro for showing me such a great time here in their backyard, really. And I look forward to hopefully spending more time together in the future. Back to Las Vegas we go. There's downtown, and as we pan to the right here, we're gonna start seeing the Strip. The iconic Stratosphere Tower, of course. There's the Ferris wheel called the High Roller. You can kind of see the New York, and the Luxor Pyramid, and the Mandalay Bay. Home Sweet Home, Las Vegas KOA.
Tell you what, let's go for a little excursion. I'm inspired by those lights. Let's do it.
It's like all of a sudden I realized where I really was, and it would really be a crime not to see some shiny lights tonight. Let's begin by downtown, Freeman Street. Old Las Vegas, if you will. On this part of Freeman Street called Fremont East, they have placed all these restored vintage neon signs. It is really cool to see. The rest of Fremont Street is nowadays pedestrian only, of course, and that's where they have the LED canopy where they do the Fremont Street experience. There it is, the Fremont Street experience. And here to the right, the legendary Plaza Hotel. Let's go towards the Strip. I remember when they had a roller coaster on the top of the Stratosphere, That was during the late 90s, I guess, when they had this crazy idea to make Las Vegas a more family-friendly destination. I think they gave up on that, and the town has gone back to its sinful roots since then. Not even the creepy clown at the circus could change that image. Well, I think I'm going to save the rest of it for the next video. We've got lots of adventures coming up: Lake Mead, Zion National Park, and eventually Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, as we start slowly working our way back east. Of course, all of this happened on February 2019, but if you want to keep up to date with my whereabouts, please consider supporting through Patreon for as little as $1 per month. You'll get early access to videos, occasional bloopers and outtakes, and when I'm out on the road, almost daily vlogs. Patreon.com/TravelingRobert is the address to go to. Of course, regular videos like this one will always remain free, or advertising supported, I guess. As always, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road. Greetings from fabulous Las Vegas.